We're staying in Abuja, where President Bola Tinubu is now talking tough. The president says any minister or presidential aide that underperforms in the discharge of their assigned duties and responsibilities will be sacked. The president spoke when he declared open the 2023 cabinet retreat for ministers, presidential aides, permanent secretaries, and top government functionaries, with a focus on delivering on the renewed hope agenda. TVC News State House correspondent Femi Akonde reports.
President Tinubu has empowered his special advisor on policy to supervise a result and delivery unit that will keep ministers on their toes and monitor their key performance index. President Tinubu also insists his administration will not make excuses for the failures of past administrations and emphasize that the priority of the government will be improving education, healthcare, and eradicating poverty.
At the end of this retreat, they are going to sign a bond of understanding between you, the ministers, the permanent secretary, and myself. If you are performing, nothing to fear. If you miss the objective, we review. If no performance, you leave us.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, who supervises the Federal Cabinet on behalf of President Tinubu, says members of the President's Cabinet must be accountable and work for the actualization of the renewed hope agenda.
The bonds contain the ministerial deliverables alongside their key performance indicators, KPIs. Each of the KPIs contain the baseline data and targets for the next 4 years.
There were goodwill messages from the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Richard Montgomery, and the World Bank Country Director, Shubham Chowdhury. The British envoy says he admires President Tinubu's leadership, especially his international engagements, and promised his country's support for Nigeria.
Nigeria faces big security, economic, and social challenges. In a global context, the big challenges: a difficult global economy, shifting geopolitical and foreign policy pressures.
So we're here to support your programs. We take your guidance from you. But even though we have the word bank in our names, I hope you will think of us as more than a bank. I mean, our real hope is that you will trust us and that we will be able to earn your trust, that we have something more to offer in the nature of solutions.
President Tinubu says the purpose of the retreat is to get the ministers to sign a bond of understanding that will be a commitment to service delivery without any form of mediocrity. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
And for more on this instruction by the president, let's speak with the Director General, Center for Credible Leadership and Citizens Awareness, Dr. Gabriel Wambu. He joins us live via Zoom from Abuja. Good to have you join us, Dr. Gabriel. So,
good evening.
Good evening.
And thanks for having me.
So we've seen, in several administrations where ministers stay on even for 8 years, while citizens are saying, look, they are not performing. So when the president made this kind of statement, what's your interpretation?
Thank you so much for your question. The statement by President Bola Tinubu, is to a greater extent replicates somebody that is committed to good governance, transparency, and accountability of government. It gives a very clear vision that he is a no-nonsense president that is determined to have a very high-quality service delivery to the populace of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And it's no longer in doubt whether the president means well for Nigeria or not. It is a president, by his statement, that has demonstrated his resolute determination to dot all the T's and cross all the T's and dot all the I's as far as administration and good governance with reference to the Federal Republic of Nigeria is concerned.
And in your opinion, what should be the performance indices And at what point should the president say, look, you haven't met this mark, so you should be out?
Yes, the president as the commander-in-chief might not come in the open to tell us the terms of reference. And however, he must have a template. He must have a template for each of the ministers. He must have terms for reference, for each of the ministers. But he might not disclose it to the populace of Nigeria. So with this parameter defined, the president will be able to assess whether a particular minister, is performing according to the terms of reference or is underperforming. And he has stated very clearly that no non-performing minister would be comfortable with him. In fact, the person will find his way out. So that is a very good statement, and that is the way to go as far as a new Nigeria is concerned.
And the president also talked about signing a bond. We'll see how all of that plays out. Thank you so much for talking to us, Director General, Center for Credible Leadership and Citizens Awareness, Dr. Gabriel Luwambu.
Thanks for having me. Good evening.